The Three Stooges were an American vaudeville and comedy team act from 1922 to 1970, best remembered for their 190 short subject films by Columbia Pictures. Their hallmark styles were physical force and slapstick. Now, the Three Stooges stars for the category of motion picture located at 1560 Vine Street between Sunset Boulevard and Selma Avenue. Again, that's between Selma Avenue and Sunset Boulevard at 1560 Vine Street for the category of motion pictures. Now, Three Stooges was an American vaudeville comedy act of the early to mid-20th century. Best known for their numerous short subjects, their hallmark was physical face and extreme slapstick in films. The Stooges were commonly known by their first names Moe, Larry, and Curly, and Moe, Larry, and Shemp. Among the lineups, the film trio was originally composed of Moe Howard, brother Shemp Howard, and longtime friend Larry Fine.
The Three Stooges?
Curly Howard replaced brother Shemp, who later returned when Curly suffered a debilitating stroke in 1946. After Shemp's death in 1955, he was replaced by comedian Joe Besser after the use of stuntman Joe Palmer to record several Shemp shorts. After the death, eventually Joe DeRita replaced Joe Besser. Larry suffered a serious stroke in 1970 and was unable to continue performing. Emil Stricker, a longtime actor in the Stooges comedies, were contracted by replaced Larry, but no film was ever made with him in the role, although publicity photos consist of him with his hair combed similar to Larry's posing with Moe, Curly, and Joe. However, Larry's paralyzing stroke in 1970 effectively marked the end of the act. He died in January 1975. Moe died of cancer a few months later.
The Three Stooges?
Now, the Three Stooges started in 1925 as part of a Ranchers Vaudevillian act called Ted Healy and His Stooges. In the act-led comedy, Healy would attempt to sing, tell jokes, while noisy assistants would keep interrupting him. Healy would respond to verbally and physically abusing his Stooges. Brothers Moe and Shemp were joined later that year by violinist comedian Larry Fine, and Fred Sanborn joined the group as well. By 1930, Ted Healy and his Stooges, including Sanborn, appeared in their first Hollywood feature film, Soup to Nuts, released by Fox Film Corporation. The film was not a success with the critics, but the Stooges' performance was considered the highlight, and Fox offered the trio a contract without Healy. The displeased Healy, who told us the studio executives that the Stooges were his employees, the offer was withdrawn, and after Howard, Fine, and Howard learned of the reason they left Healy to form their own act, which quickly took off with a tour of the theater circuit. Healy attempted to stop the new act and legal action, claiming that they were using his copyrighted material. There were accounts of Healy's threatening to bomb theaters if Howard, Fine, and Howard ever performed there, which worried Shemp so much that he almost left the act. Reportedly, only a pay raise kept him on board. Healy tried to save the act by hiring replacement Stooges, but they were inexperienced and not as well received as his predecessor. By 1932, with Moe now acting as business manager, Healy reached a new agreement with his former Stooges, and they were booked in a production with Jacob J. Schubert's The Passing Show of 1932. During rehearsals, Healy received a more lucrative offer and found a loophole in his contract allowing him to leave the production. Shemp, fed up with Healy's abrasiveness, decided to quit the act and found work almost immediately in Vitaphone movies and comedies produced in Brooklyn, New York.